Hello, my witches and warlocks. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a fabulous day so far. I hope the rest of it is fabulous too. My name is Sick and Tired, and if you are new here, this channel focuses heavily on crappy parents, narcissistic parents, insane parents, childhood trauma, pretty much what we do here. We like to take a break though, every now and then, and today we are going to be doing Am I the Asshole? However, on this channel, I like to keep in the theme of sticking to things with like our parents, although I will throw in husband and wife ones there occasionally too, because I have been married for almost 19 years now, so I think I can give a little bit of advice when it comes to marriage. Doesn't mean that I'm right, just means that I feel I'm entitled to give it. So if you are liking my content, I really hope you do. I would ask you to please subscribe. I would never beg, but know that I am here for you 5 days a week. If you'd like, you can also follow me on Twitter. One more disclaimer. These are just my opinions. I always encourage discussion in the comments. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. And if you do, that's fine too. From Petite Curious, I slapped my wife because she burnt our son on purpose.
What the hell?
I went through a lot of emotions just reading that title. Because at first I slapped my wife and I immediately was like, and then because she burnt our son on purpose. And then I was immediately, again, this is not my Reddit account, but I need opinions on this matter. Well, then you came to the right place. We judge, right? And we're proud of it. My wife, 40 female, and I, 43 male, have been married for 6 years and have 3 children. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. Our son, who's 3 years old, is very hyperactive. She is naturally strict and authoritarian with our children, but our son really struggles to listen to her and stay still. I will admit he's a difficult child. Yesterday, when I came back home from work, I noticed my son had bandages on the back of his hands. When I asked my wife about it, she told me he was fooling around, running in the kitchen, and accidentally burnt himself. I found her explanation very weird because of the locations of the burning. It was in the middle of the back of both his hands, which is a weird spot to fall on. She finally admitted that she burnt his hands on purpose with a very hot metal spoon. Okay, you guys know how I feel about kids. And those of you who don't, we love kids on this channel. So I'm immediately thinking in my head, okay, tie her down and burn her with a hot spoon.
Fire and blood
That she was cooking with because he kept running in the kitchen and wouldn't stay still. When she told me that, I slapped her and yelled at her. If I came home and my daughter had burns on the back of her hands and my husband admitted, yeah, she was getting on my nerves, so I burnt her with a spoon, I'd probably slap him too. Thinking that she purposefully inflicted such a pain to our 3-year-old son drove me crazy. The burns are very visible and he will need treatment for it. I never hit my wife before, but I honestly feel like she deserved it for what she did to our son. Am I the asshole? First of all, I would think that's child abuse, right? I mean, am I wrong? I would assume that burning your child on purpose is child abuse. No, I don't think that you're the asshole. Honestly, I know that that probably sounds like so opposite of what I stand for on this channel and kind of like uplifting women. You know, you guys know that too, that we're very pro supporting women on this channel, but I don't support women that burn their children on purpose. So I gotta say, I would have probably had the same reaction with my husband or my wife. I don't think you're the asshole. And I'm very concerned for your child. If she's doing that, I mean, she's gonna do something again. I wouldn't even feel safe. That would destroy a certain amount of trust and safety that I would have with my spouse, with my child. Humble Holiday 2137. Am I the asshole for refusing to nurse my dad back to health after open heart surgery? I did it 10 years ago for 1 year when his other 2 children didn't help. Oh gosh, your dad's had open heart surgery twice now? It's longer than most because he had complications, a quid bypass, a smoker, a drinker, and 4 stents. Holy Jesus. But I did it and left him sober, non-smoker, 100% healthy individual. Unfortunately, my siblings got close to him and used the shit out of him. When I found out and tried to get him to stop, he removed me completely from his life. Fast forward 10 years later, he's now undergoing another quad bypass and needs me to help nurse him back to health. So are they saying that because he left and he was with the siblings were not helping him keep him from smoking and drinking? That's what I'm gathering. I love my dad because he's been an outstanding father to all of us, but my other 2 siblings just see him as a tool to help them fix their homes or cars, whatever they need. I tried to warn him that he needs to take care of himself or he might end up doing another surgery, but he ignored me. He called me after the surgery and didn't ask but demand that I help him recover. I told him no, that he should ask his other kids. He got mad and said, I don't have kids, that the poster doesn't have kids, that he is self-employed, and that I have the most time available to do it, and it will be easier because I did it before. I hung up the phone. I got texts later from my siblings about how ungrateful I am, which I ignored. Well, my fellow friends with our narc parents. I'm not saying that this parent is a narc, but I do think it's a little crappy that they just expect this person to drop everything they're doing in their lives and help them with recovery. Regardless, though, you are not responsible for your father's choices. And I personally know what it's like to have a family member, somebody that has had surgeries when the doctor said, look, you need to change your lifestyle or things are going to get bad, and they don't, and they still expect everyone to take care of them. I've personally been in this situation. So I don't blame you. It's frustrating. So I don't think you're an asshole. Efficient U3408. Am I the asshole for telling my friends not to trauma dump to me anymore? Oh, really? What? You think you're better than us? You think you're better than us here where we trauma dump everything on everybody all the time?
That is correct.
I'm that friend to where I tend to put a lot of effort into friendships because I know how important they are, but I've been feeling like it isn't returned. I have a friend, Jen, who I know everything about. She has confided in us about her childhood, her ex-boyfriend, etc. She has sent me every text they've exchanged together because it was a toxic relationship and she talks about him all the time. I've already heard the story a million times, but still last time we were hanging out together, she told me again. We will be banting/talking and she'll remember something from her childhood and go into a long tangent about it, which I always listen to. I feel like knowing these things makes you a complex person in my mind, and I don't mind if you share this stuff with me usually. Our other friend Shy doesn't trauma dump as much, but I know about her childhood, her parents, etc. because I asked her about it because I want to know about her life. Recently, this last weekend, we were drinking and someone asked us questions about each other. I quickly learned they don't know any of that stuff about me. The biggest traumas I've been through, my current crush, my friends besides them, they got most of the questions wrong while I got all of them right. It really hit me that I put effort into learning this stuff and talking to them about their traumas, but they don't do the same for me. I've spent so many hours of my life listening to Jen tell me about her childhood trauma, her relationships failures, but she hasn't done any of that for me. Did you want to talk about it? I mean, did you tell her that you needed to talk about it? I sent them both a text in the group chat and said I was done with the trauma dumping, done listening to long stories about their exes, etc. I'm just over it. They were really confused and asked me what was up, but I said I needed a break. Am I the asshole here? I mean, kind of. I guess it depends on it. Like, I stick to what I know here. And what I know here is childhood trauma, parental trauma, that kind of stuff, and trauma from illness as well. If I had a friend that was going back to an ex that was really, really toxic and just going on and on about it, I'd probably get pretty tired of hearing about it too. However, the stuff from your childhood is a little different because those are things you can't help. If you're an adult and you keep going back and forth to a guy that's bad to you, that is in some way something that you can help. But being raised by these, bad parents, that's not really something that you can do anything about. I can't really say whether you're the asshole or not, although I would say maybe you didn't have to go about it that way. Maybe you could have just talked to them, been like, look, I'm really upset that you guys don't seem to care as much about the stuff that I've gone through, and I know everything about you. I think you might have handled it the wrong way. Especially, they said they were confused, like, what? Like, so it sounds like it's something that they're just not even aware that they're doing maybe. So I would have maybe sat down and talked to them more before I would have just said I need a break. From Top Discipline 1384. Would I be the asshole for making my husband and kids leave the house so I could have a sleepover?
What?
There's no way I would make my daughter leave the house. Her bed. Let's just read. I'm getting ahead of myself. I, 36 female, am married to 36 male, and we have 2 kids, male 6 and female 4. So my friends, 5 females, 5... That sounds weird. 5 ladies, 5 witches were coming over to spellcast and do rituals. And I have been planning to get together at my house that would basically be a night in of just doing fun things. Like, I first read that as talking shit and I was like, that sounds like a really fun sleepover. Doing fun things, talking shit like that. Shit talking probably will happen though. My husband was fine with it and we settled on a date where all of us could clear our schedules, jobs, etc. and do this for the weekend. And the date is the weekend of the 16th. I was talking about it with my husband last night and he said that him and our kids would just hide out in the basement the whole time. This is making me sad. Probably a mistake on my part, but I assumed that they were going to leave. Wow. And when I told him that, he said, of course we aren't, but we'll stay out of your way. Jeez, this is messed up. I requested that they do leave and maybe get a hotel. No, you didn't.
You cannot be for real.
Somewhere for the night, so it'd be 100% just us, and it would make it more fun and intimate knowing none of our significant others are around. Also, just because they'd be in the basement doesn't stop them from coming up to talk to me or anything. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. What? Did you literally just say that your children, how old are they're babies. How old are they? 6 and 4. Did you seriously just say that you didn't want them staying in the basement, which is shitty enough as it is, because they might come up and talk to you? Your babies. You're worried about your babies coming up to talk to you. He still wasn't on board with leaving, so would I be the asshole for making them leave the day of? Yes. You would be a huge asshole if you expect them to leave their home, your husband and your children, their home, so you can have a sleepover. Now, I'm not dogging on you for having a sleepover. I don't care how old you are. If you're in your 30s, 40s, you want to have a sleepover with your friends, I don't care. But you have children and a husband that live there too. And no, they shouldn't have to leave for your sleepover. Yeah, you're the asshole. The Only Raven, 2018. Am I the asshole for kicking out my son and his girlfriend? I, 54 female, have a son, 24 male, and I kicked him out and don't know what to do. It all started when my son got a girlfriend, 20 female, about 2 years ago. He got her pregnant and her parents kicked her out and now she's living in my home. I opened up my home happily, but it has only gotten worse with time ever since I welcomed her and her baby, was born last year, and ever since that day, she hasn't done anything, which I understand since she had a baby. But when I say anything, I mean anything. She hasn't held her baby once, fed her, or even changed her. Oh, and I don't know what to do anymore. And to top it all off, my son doesn't work. He got fired last year and hasn't looked for a job since. I'm in charge of cleaning, paying rent, and buying groceries for 4 people, and I can't do it anymore. So I warned him that if he didn't find a job, he would have to live in the streets. He laughed in my face, including his girlfriend, and said that I would never. It has been 2 weeks since I told him, and I finally kicked him and his girlfriend out 3 days. They made a big deal about it and trashed my home. They left without my granddaughter, so please help me out on what I should do. My God, there is so much to unpack here. Okay, well, I was going to say good for you for opening your home. That's what I would have done too. At first I was going to say if she didn't want to change the baby, hold the baby, nothing, that maybe she is suffering from postpartum depression. But at the end there, it sounds like maybe she's just an asshole. I would say, yeah, your son needs to step up. He has a child. They decided to keep the child. You need to work. You need to provide for your child. And if he laughed in your face and said you'd never kick him out and then did, and they trashed your house and they left the baby behind, they both laughed in your face and then trashed your house. I don't think you're the asshole here. And now you have your granddaughter, which honestly might be what's best. I don't know if they should have her. Yikes. Please help me out on what I should do. I have no idea. I am flabbergasted. I'm gonna leave this one up to the comments. Maybe other people would have a better idea. What do you do? What do you do if somebody leaves their baby? And it's not just anybody, it's her granddaughter. What do you do if the parents just leave? That was such a short post and it was an emotional roller coaster. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you like this content, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like these videos, I think you might like this one too. Until next time, I hope your symptoms are low. I hope your magic is strong. Mwah! Bye, babes.